Hi, I'm George Stancliffe. I'm the author of Speed Reading for Kids. I've been teaching children to speed read for over 25 years. I've taught thousands of children to speed read over the years, since about 1997, many of them in classes that I taught, but also many of them through the book that I wrote, Speed Reading for Kids. I used to always wonder, why don't they teach speed reading in school? It's obvious some people can speed read, most people can't. Why isn't it a skill that is taught in school? The quick and easy answer for some people is it's fake. If you look at media bias against speed reading, there's always the innuendo that it's fake. Sometimes they'll come out and say, oh, it's fake. There's very few people that don't know at least one person who can read really fast. Many people know several people that can read really fast. It's not universal by any stretch, but we're aware of people that can read really, really fast, faster than what they say is possible. So obviously there's something going on. Some people can speed read, many cannot. So once you personally know someone that can speed read, it's no longer a matter of is it fake or is it real? No, it's real, but why can't all of us speed read? I've made it a goal. It's probably my most important lifetime ambition is find a way to make speed reading a universally taught skill. And towards that effort, I wrote the book Speed Reading for Kids. My feeling was, if you can teach children when they're young how to speed read, they'll speed read better, they'll catch on to it more easily. It doesn't have to be taught by someone who can speed read themselves. So the book was written with instructions on it so that parents could teach their children to speed read, even if the parent does not know how to speed read. Just follow the instructions, the children will catch on. My book's been a success. There's been several thousand copies printed, sold all over the world, and I've gotten some nice testimonials from parents that have had fantastic results with speed reading. We made great progress in the last 25 years. Now it's time to really push and get speed reading out there into as many areas as we can. If you'd like to teach speed reading in your own area, teach children, be a volunteer, keep posted on the speed reading channel. I'm going to get more information out there. You're welcome to use the Speed Reading for Kids book to teach your children to speed read or teach your students to speed read. However, even if you use any other method, speed reading will help children do well in school and learn a lot. Just so you know, my mother was a natural speed reader. Nobody taught her how to speed read. One day when I was a young adult, I approached her and said, we need to see how fast you can read. We all knew Mom could read fast, so I got her to read a book that wasn't too difficult, had her read her normal reading speed. I said, I don't want you reading fast. I don't want you reading slow. Just read your normal reading speed. And she was reading 620 words a minute. That's almost 200 words a minute faster than the fastest college graduates. The average college graduate reads 300 words a minute. Really fast ones read 350, and only 1 out of 100 college graduates reads for 450 words a minute or better. My mom is 200 words a minute, almost faster than that. So she was a natural speed reader. Nobody taught her this skill. She never took an Evelyn Wood speed reading dynamics class. I didn't teach her to speed read. I couldn't speed read at the time when I timed her. But there are natural speed readers out there, and some of them can read a lot faster than my mom. The key is there are people out there that speed read way faster than what they say is possible. I've met some of them. I've talked with some of them. I've actually taught some to read even faster. Another man that I knew who could speed read was my 8th grade Spanish teacher, Mr. Murphy. He could read thousands of words a minute. He took an Evelyn Wood speed reading class, and he put it to practice. Every paper that came through his desk, he graded it within 3 seconds, and he handed it immediately back to the student, wrote the grade in his grade book, and he was completely done at the end of every class when the bell rang. He didn't have to go grading papers for hours after school. That was why he learned how to speed read. It's a very productive skill. If you use it in the way that works the best for you, it can be a time saver in many, many ways. But despite the successes of speed reading, and if you look long enough and hard enough, you will find people that are good speed readers. Quite often they don't advertise that fact, so Unless you personally know someone well and they tell you they're a speed reader, you may not even clue in to that they're very good speed readers. So why haven't the schools made an effort to teach speed reading, to make it more available? I wrote an article on that. That's a separate topic, but think about it. There's reasons why. It can be shown that there are speed readers out there, and there is some fake research to try to disprove that, but it's just fake. Speed reading is real. It's here to stay. My goal is to make speed reading a commonly learned skill, a universally learned skill for all children, despite the bias that's out there. So if you would like to teach speed reading to children or even adults, doesn't matter, adults can catch on to it, I'd like you to volunteer. Teach people in your community. Teach classes after school. Teach classes for your friends at church. Teach classes for community groups you happen to be in. Just teach. You don't have to know how to speed read. Get a copy of my book. Follow the instructions. There's other speed reading books out there. If you want to use one of those, great. But just learn to speed read. Teach your friends to speed read. It's not going to happen unless you make an effort. Now, just so you know, there are 3 fairly sizable groups of people that are predisposed to do quite well at speed reading, way better than average. These are people that are right brain dominant. The groups are dyslexic people, ADHD people, and left-handed people. If you fall into any one of those 3 categories, there's a very good likelihood, way good, higher than 90%, you'll be a really good speed reader. But in some cases, you'll have to put in some effort to make it happen. A few people catch on immediately, but that's not the norm. A little bit of effort goes a long way, but if you're in one of those 3 groups, you have an amazing talent. You'll be able to be very good at speed reading. So I suggest that you may even want to round up all your friends that are left-handed, ADHD, or dyslexic, and get together and study speed reading together and get it to happen. And then start teaching everyone you know that's left-handed, ADHD, or dyslexic. You'll be able to make a big impact in your community. Then after that succeeds, everyone else will want to learn how to speed read. The rest of them, a few of them will do really well, and most of them might have to work at it, but they can all learn to speed read. It just takes a little more effort for people that are left brain dominant. The number one reason people don't get really good at speed reading is they don't practice every single day. Just so you know, to speed read, it uses a different part of your brain than normal reading does. It's not at all the same part of your brain. So what you have to do is retrain this particular part of your brain to where it speed reads. And the only way to do that is to go fast on the words. And what's going to happen at first? You're not used to it. Your comprehension will be very little. And you'll think, this is a waste of time. Just do it anyway. Follow the instructions. There's certain ways, certain techniques for doing it. But your brain will start catching on to speed reading after a few days, maybe even a few weeks. So just think of it this way. If your brain gets 1% the first day, comprehension, 2% the next day, 3%, after 100 days, you should be a pretty good speed reader. Okay, that's about how fast it is for some people. That's about the rate my brain caught on to speed reading when I started doing that type of speed reading. A lot of people catch on to it faster than that, but if you brace yourself and say, listen, even if I catch on to it slowly, it's okay. 3 months from now, a year from now, it doesn't matter how long it took you to learn how to speed read. You'll be there. You can use it in your studies. You can use it in your schoolwork. You can use it on your newspaper reading. I don't recommend you read some things like poetry. Poetry is different. Poetry is actually meant to be listened to, right? It rhymes and all that. There's a reason for that. So some things are better to be slow read. Speed reading does not replace slow reading. However, there's certain things you do better at speed reading. Reports, book reports, stuff you just have to go through because you're required to, that kind of stuff. And as you get better at speed reading, you still get good comprehension on it, but you don't waste so much time. So the number one reason people don't get good at speed reading is they don't put in the time every single day to speed read and exercise that part of the brain. This is like daily calisthenics. You want to be good at running? You got to run. If you don't run, you're not going to get good at running. You have to run. If you want to speed read, you have to speed read. There's no magic there. You just follow the instructions, do it every day, and your brain gets stronger at it. And after a few weeks, you start getting really good at it. And you can start using it in your schoolwork. It's an amazing thing. So there's different strategies that you can use for teaching speed reading in your area. So here's an idea of how I think you could go. You can help make speed reading a universal skill by just volunteering to teach a class. Maybe at your church group, round up a group of people that are interested, especially ADHD, dyslexic, left-handed people. You can even call it Lefty Club or ADHD Club or whatever. Just get them together, say, listen, let's study speed reading together and get good at this. You can study the news, you can study books, and also you want fun, easy stuff. Like, second, third, fourth, fifth grade level stuff, or something that's very simple for you, okay? Here's some different types of groups that might work well with speed reading. You can do a church group, you can do a school group, like after school, call it Speed Reading Club. So just the ones that are interested go in, do it. Sometimes a school teacher takes upon themselves just to teach the whole class. That's okay. Just understand that usually when that happens, there's one or two kids in the class that don't want to cooperate. Figure out what to do with them without creating an uproar. But the rest of the class should do fine. Another one is you have a WhatsApp group. Get them all together and teach speed reading together. Get all your friends and buddies together that you know of that are left-handed. Hey, let's do a left-handed thing. Or, hey, let's do an ADHD thing. Just get a group together. If you're an administrator in a school, maybe you do a school-wide speed reading club. Just invite everyone to come. After school at 3 o'clock on Wednesdays. Every Wednesday you meet, but you have a little WhatsApp group. So you're messaging each other once a day to remind everyone to do their practice. That could be a successful strategy. Not a bad idea. This is really good, and you'll see how it really helps you with your schoolwork. Here's what you want to do. You get a lesson plan. There's different books out there. I recommend mine because it has a lesson plan specifically designed to teach groups of people, even if the teacher does not know how to speed read. But you can use any group. You can use any lesson plan. And just do it. Follow through with it once a week, every week for a few weeks. You'll start seeing results pretty quick with a few people. And the rest of you, don't get discouraged. It'll come with time. And just do not quit. Okay, another key element to the speed reading class is you want to set it up in such a way that people do their daily speed reading. Like I said, a WhatsApp group with a message to each other every day is one good way to do it. You can call each other. Just do some kind of support group. I think of it as a support group to help each other. And week by week, you do better and better and better. Another way is if a school teacher does it in their class, because it's a school teacher in charge, the school teacher makes sure everyone practices every single day. On weekends, they don't have much control, but if they do it every single day and miss the weekends, they're still going to learn to speed read. Because every day, 5 days in a row, is pretty darn good practice. Okay? The other one is sometimes you get people that have just got a lot of self-control and they just say, I'm going to do it, and they do it. If you're one of those, you don't have to worry. You'll learn to speed read on your own if you want. A lot of people struggle with remembering and just sticking with it. If you're one to stick with it, you'll do fine. Also, the other one is like if a parent wants their children to speed read, or maybe they're homeschool parents, and they're very diligent about making sure the children do their work and do their practice, those kids will do well at speed reading. If it's kind of do your own thing type of situation, it's very easy for kids to forget. So maybe it's better to join a group if that's the case, so that with the groups doing it together, that will motivate the kids maybe better than just the normal routine at home that's pretty easygoing. Sometimes a little bit too easygoing. Just nothing wrong with easygoing. I think that's great. But with speed reading, the practice has to be done or they're not going to learn. Okay? That's very important. If you're thinking of doing several speed reading classes, you want to start with the very best one possible, I recommend you just round up ADHD kids or adults, dyslexic kids or adults, and left-handed people, whether adults or kids. Those three groups. Just pack the class with those. You'll have pretty good success. And just encourage them to keep coming even after they get good at it, because once they get good at it, you don't say, okay, you're on your own, you know how to speed read. No, they've got to keep coming. keep following up with that daily practice, because easy come, easy go. If you don't continue using it till it gets set in stone, until it becomes second nature, you can still lose the skill. I've had that happen to lots of kids. They're good at speed reading, and then, oh, I can speed read, great. Then they skip it for a couple of weeks, and then they say, oh, I forgot how. That's fairly common. So that's why the support group, that's why you keep coming together, having meeting, maybe have activities together, make it fun in other ways so that people keep coming, but so they keep supporting each other for the daily practice. Once you learn how to speed read, you don't just quit and say, okay, I got it. No, you want to integrate it into your life and just start using it every single day. Just like you learned to read in first grade. You didn't just learn the ABCs and learn a few words and say, oh, I can read now, and then you quit. No, you continue to use it day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year. Now you're a very proficient reader, and you've forgotten all that work you put into it. Speed reading, you want to just take some time to speed read every day. I recommend 30 minutes per day. But if you do only 20 minutes, you'll still get some results. You'll get better results if you do 30. But, you do whatever you can to make sure you at least gain the skill and gain some proficiency. One good goal that a lot of people have, a book a day keeps a doctor away. My dad was a medical doctor. Okay, I get it. We don't want the doctor to always be gone and away, but it's a good rhyme. It helps you remember. A book a day. If you can speed read a book every single day, you will not lose your speed reading skill. Just have a goal. Why not read your way through the library? Just all the fun, interesting books. This book today, that book tomorrow, that book tomorrow, that book tomorrow. Every day another book. If you can read a book in 15 minutes, why not? It doesn't have to take a long time to read a book. Lots of kids can read a book in 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. It doesn't matter. An hour, that's still way faster than most people. I get up in the morning, I try to speed read a book in an hour. I don't always make it, but I do some of the time. In the last month or so, I've completed a book in an hour, a little over half the time. Sometimes I still have to speed read some later after work. So that's just my own personal goal. You can do whatever you're capable of. I don't speed read as fast as some. Some people can speed read a lot faster than me, but I know how to teach speed reading, and I do speed read. I speed read every single day. Very rarely do I miss a day. It's a good skill. It helps me. It'll help you too. When you teach your speed reading class, keep in touch with your students every week. If someone doesn't show up, once in a while, just text them. Just keep in touch. Trying to learn to speed read without doing the daily practice is like trying to learn arithmetic in a lecture and then not practicing any and then thinking you're going to be proficient at it. It doesn't work that way. If you want to be proficient at it, you've got to actually use it often enough until it becomes second nature. And that's the whole point in the daily practice. It takes a few months for it to become second nature. Even after you learn to do it, you know how to do it, pretty soon it becomes, you pick up a book, you can speed read it. It's easy. Of course you can slow read anytime you want. Common things that people would rather slow read commonly would be poetry, scriptures, letters from close relatives you just love. People just want to slow read that letter just for the emotional feeling you get from it. So there might be other types of reading that you prefer to slow read. That's okay. We only ask you to speed read 30 minutes a day. That's it. You want to slow read the rest of the day, that's fine. Just make sure you speed read 30 minutes every day. And that's just for the exercise of it. Make sure you exercise your brain. You'll find that even by speed reading 30 minutes a day, the things you are going to learn will be far beyond what you would have ever learned, and you'll be learning all kinds of miscellaneous information, background material that'll help you, give you ideas. It'll enrich your life in a lot of ways. So that's George Stancliffe. Thank you for listening. Give me a like, give me some messages down below, and tell your friends about the Speed Reading channel. Thank you. Please subscribe. Bye.